Hi, I'm Josh with Digital Tutors, an Autodesk authorized publisher. Welcome to Realistic Game Character Modeling in 3ds Max. In this series of tutorials, we'll learn how to model a realistic female game character. We'll start out by preparing our high poly model in ZBrush in order to import it into 3ds Max. And then we'll begin retopologizing the head and face, and here we'll discuss the importance of edge loops in the face and how to allow for proper deformation in facial animations. After that, we'll move into modeling the clothing of our character and discuss how to speed up our production time using custom menus. Then we'll finish up the course by learning how to properly clean up our model to get ready for the next steps in production. So by the end of this course, you will not only have a fantastic female hero. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to prepare our high poly mesh to bring into 3ds Max. Alright, so whenever you have a high poly mesh of a character, you want to be able to bring that into something like 3ds Max to retopologize it. Now, the problem that we have with a high poly mesh is that there are millions and millions of polygons, and we really can't bring those into something like 3ds Max or Maya. That would create a really substantial slowdown, and we wouldn't be able to work. And in fact, we can't even bring a high poly character like this into something like a game engine. And so this is why we need to bring it into 3ds Max or Maya to retopo that, to greatly reduce the polygon count. Now, we're still going to be using the high poly mesh to take the high poly detail in this mesh, and we're going to project that down through a normal map. So to do this, the first thing that we need to do is we need to reduce the polygon count of our high poly mesh to something that's a little more manageable inside of something like 3ds Max. Now, as you can see with the high poly character, you can see that we have several different subtools. And I've already started working on some of these just to make it go a little bit faster. But the first thing that you'll want to do is you want to get rid of any polygons that are unnecessary. So for example, you can see that with our character, the character's body is not visible. Okay? And so you can see here that all we have is just the head of our character, but there's no body below that. You can also see that we have just these few polygons for the hands, okay, on both of those, and we're going up to the wrist, or at least up to the lower forearm on that, and that's just going to be enough polygons for us to create the low resolution game geometry. Now we have some other parts of this as well. We have something like the hood here, which you can see. It has some high resolution detail in that, but we still have some polygons that we could probably go ahead and get rid of. You'll notice the t-shirt here, it's only a little bit visible, okay, underneath the coat. Even at the bottom, we really can't see anything there. And so what we would want to do is we want to remove some of that topology or some of that geometry, so that way we don't carry that over into 3ds Max. So to kind of show you how this process works, I'm going to demonstrate this on the t-shirt. So with this t-shirt, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Control and Shift, and you want to make sure that you have the lasso. If you don't see it this way, just left click on it, and you should be able to see the Select Lasso tool. Now you'll click on that, and then you'll release Shift and Control, and then hold down Shift Control again, and that should pop up just as you see here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Alt with Control and Shift held down, and we're going to drag around, and we're going to basically select everything that we want to hide on the t-shirt. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here and around. So now what's going to happen is whenever we select the t-shirt, let's just click on the eye here to hide everything but the t-shirt because it is selected here. You can see here that we've just got this geometry here. Now I also want to make sure that I get rid of anything that's back here. So hold down Control, Alt, and Shift, and then we're going to drag around these polygons and just get rid of those. You may want to go ahead and open up the code again, and you could do another selection around that just to make sure that you get a little bit closer to the body, and that should help as well. Alright, so we have enough geometry there in the t-shirt to get what we need for the character. Alright, so now we've got that. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get rid of any of that extra geometry. To do this, we'll need to go to our Split tool. But you'll notice here that the Split Hidden tool is we're not able to actually click on that. And the reason for that is because the geometry of our t-shirt is at its high subdivision level. Okay, and because it has subdivision levels, it will not allow us to split that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say delete lower, and then if I go up to my subtool, you'll see that split hidden is now showing. So if I left click on split hidden, what that will do is it will give me two tools now from that t-shirt. You can see that the collar, which is what we want, and then we have the rest of the shirt, which we can actually go ahead and hit delete and get rid of that. Now this is an undoable operation. You want to be careful with this. You want to make sure that you have a copy of this subtool saved before you do anything else. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK and delete that. Now we'll also do this on the hood, as you can see here. With that hood selected, I can actually show the t-shirt as well. What we can do now is we can go ahead and hold down Control-Alt-Shift and left click, and we'll get rid of any geometry that is not showing here. So as we select around that, if we just click on the hood, you can see that this is all that's left here.